time out for different things.
Okay.
Ranging from 10 seconds to 20.
Hello. Hi, this is Father Jeremy St. Martin. My pastor, Father Sean Carey, has asked me to give you all a little summary of the upcoming chapter that we're reading at the G.K. Chesterton Society meeting. I have a wedding, I won't be there. So, we read the chapter from the book called What's Wrong with the World? The chapter entitled The Empire of the Insect. In this chapter, there are two classic Chestertonian points made. One, that we, as modern people, are formed to think too much of things from a detailed point of view. And he points out when we get the scale of where we are in the universe wrong, and we start looking at things through a magnifying glass too much, or a microscope, we fail to understand the meaning of things. We need to see, for instance, insects are smaller than us and below us, and things like, I don't know, the birds higher, and the moon and the stars bigger and higher. We need to see the big picture and realize our own scale in the world, and then we can make sense of what each detail means. When he says the genius uses the magnifying glass, he means the not genius, who is the sort of modern ideal of genius. In other words, he's saying Sherlock Holmes is really a bad kind of ideal for the genius, the person who notices the minute detail and figures out the truth. The other point that G.K. Chesterton makes in this chapter, which is, again, a point he's always making, as is the case with all his points, is that a muddy, not scientific view of evolution has infected us all, which results in us thinking that there is no set thing called human nature. And because we have this muddy, not clear view that human nature can maybe just be always in flux, it makes human rights impossible and leads to racism. And we can see that in our own day and age if we don't, as the church keeps teaching, believe in the doctrine of the imago Dei, which is to say, we don't recognize each human nature as intrinsically valuable just because, there is a human nature, someone who has transcendent reason and an ability to love, freedom. We don't just have everything stop at that point. There's no chance for peace or brotherhood among men or human rights, human development. It can't be that this or that person is seen as more valuable because they can contribute more, because they're more loved or have more pleasure or something like that. Every human being has to be seen as sacred just because of its nature. And when we think there is no such thing as human nature, there's just each human nature is like its own nature or something, that's the end of the world. So he's making a great case that I think the world needs to hear more than ever. This eugenics creep, which is constantly arriving everywhere, needs to be quelched or just descend back into every man for himself. All right. God bless you all.
Okay.